Hi everybody, thanks for tuning back in with Conquering with the Hosses. If this is your first time, welcome. Hope you like it. It is Monday afternoon, about 12 o'clock. Tommy and I came over to get this patio ready. We're going to come off of this corner, out 20 feet, curve to this 20 foot, and then we're going to come in a little bit, about 5 feet. So this will be 15 out, and we're going to radius it right around to that window well over there. We're going to put 2 steps on it, and this is going to be a rolled slate with a heavy stone border we're going to put around the perimeter. So I'll get some footage of us digging it out and prepping. So that's the basic footprint of this patio area. Let me talk a little bit while it's quiet and nobody's here yet, how we get height. What I look for when we first start is number down from the door. Back up a little bit. Number down from the door. Our steps that we go with, the biggest tread is 7 1/4 inches. So we come down, increments of 7 1/4. This blue line right here is 21 3/4 inches below the threshold of the door. So that works the window well for the egress window. Coming across here works the high side of the grade perfect, as well as we just cover up the waterproofing membrane. It's nice when we can cover that rather than expose this in a patio. It just looks bad, but I hate to mess with it and then have a water issue in the basement. So it's nice when we can leave that alone, and that'll all be covered. So that works our grade coming out. The sub base is all falling this way as well as that way. So I'll start setting some forms while I'm waiting on the crew, and we'll get this stoned and ready to go for in the morning. Okay, I have a couple minutes till everybody gets here. I'm going to show you 2 things real quick. What I do when I'm working alone. I'm trying to set this form, at a 90-degree angle off of that corner. So I could take a quick square and put it in here, but you see what I'm up against. It's nothing really true. So what I do here, we all know any multiples of 3, 4, 5 is a right angle. 3 foot, 4 foot, and 5 foot becomes a right angle. So you can multiply that out to where you can manage it by yourself. If I had a couple guys here, we would do bigger, such as 15, 20, and then 25 this way. And that would get us out to the end. But I'm by myself, so I can manage 6 foot, 8 foot, and then my 10-foot diagonal by myself by doing it this way. Make sure I'm positioned properly. Let me try the camera up here. Bear with me a second. If you don't know this, I think you'll like it. So I measured from the house and put a mark at 8 feet. And I measured from the corner over at 6 feet. Then I measured a board and put a mark at 10 feet. So if I let that touch that mark at the house and set it right on the form, then all I do is pull this form in to that intersect point. Now I have a right angle coming off of that house. I can put a pin in right here. Okay, checking everything nice and tight, nothing moved. My intersect point, 10 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot. It's a right angle. So after that, I move this out of the way. I have my string attached to a nail right in the edge of the board, a loop in the string, and I have another nail at the far end. So then I take I just take the string, make a loop, do 3 or 4 twists in it. Put it over the nail, then the loose end I pull, and the tight end I just feed and slide it. Once it's tight, pull it back and it locks itself. Now I can take this end. So that's how you attach the string, real easy. Now I want that string running right over that intersect point. So I just move this in, making sure not to pull the board away from the pin. Now this end is set. And I can do that as long as I, have to go. Just making sure I'm true right up there. And a little bit. Pull this in. And ideally, I like a nice little gap between the string and the board. I don't want this string tight to that. I want to be away ever so slightly and see that gap all the way up that form. There I have my gap all the way up that form. My board's set with a string, so my height is good and I'm square. So that's how I do that by myself. So we did the 3, 4, 5, and I thought you'd like how I tied that string on there. It's a quick pull that nail, and you don't have to undo the knot. That just goes away. So since I have this form set exactly where I want it, I can pull over 30 feet and 30 feet out here and set this board. And I know I'm parallel with the perpendicular to the house. And you can see how hard it would be to do a 3, 4, 5 off of this side with that angled egress window. But if we're the same number front and back from that form, then we're good. And when I say a quarter bubble fall, this is what I'm talking about on the level. We want a quarter bubble outside of the line. And of course, the bubble always goes uphill that way. So we know it's falling the correct way. Okay, hopefully the guys get here soon. So we just dumped a load of stone in here, sent them back for one more. I'll go ahead and get this spread. So they're working on steps over there. We got the curved portion roughed in, arcing out and back in. And we're gonna follow this all with a border. We just pulled a string to set this peak for our height, string and a level. Our curvature in, curvage in, and then right around and straight into that. Hey, good morning everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Concrete with the Hosses. We have a couple patios we're going to do today. We prepped them yesterday. We're all ready to go. So just real quick while it's quiet here, I'm getting a couple of comments on our color. Water soluble bags, yes. We do a lot of color work, put a lot of bags in the truck, and 10% of the time these folded areas don't dissolve where it's folded under and glued. For years, not years, but quite often we would have to go along in the patio as we're finishing, and unfortunately a week later we have to come back and have little issues of, hey, there's a chunk of bag near the surface of the concrete, and it's always right where they're walking, right in front of that door. So that's why we open these bags up and dump the color in, no bag in the truck. Since we've done that, we've never gotten a call coming back to get a chunk of bag out of the concrete. So that's why we do that. I know it says right on there somewhere in that fine print, water soluble, but that's why we do that. So it's up to you guys what you want to do out there. But we've had issues with them in the past, and we don't have issues anymore. We're pretty fortunate on this one. We can pull the mixer right up this dirt road here and turn it right into the backyard. No wheelbarrowing, no power bugging. We had a little bit of rain come through last night, but the ground is almost dry already. So from here we're going to jump down the street and hit one more patio a little bit smaller than this. This one is rolled slate with a heavy stone stamp border. So stay tuned, I hope you like it. So what we did here, we have the traction mats that we laid across the approach here. We doubled them up to try and keep that truck off. We don't want to have them come in, sink in the dirt, and bounce up on that edge and crack it. So hopefully, keep my fingers crossed, he'll come right up and make a wide swing and roll right over these and won't even hurt that sidewalk. If it does crack it, of course we'll saw cut it and replace it. But this has worked in the past. Hopefully it works today. He'll pull up and give it one back up and get as square as he can. And this is a full 10 yards of concrete. Listen for the pop. Uh-oh. That didn't sound good. I wonder if that was the truck. Okay, straight on back. We're going to save that for the end and look at it. So I like this color. Just open the bag and it rolls right in the truck. It's not a powder, it's little like balls. okay to take your time putting it in. Let that bag get pushed in, mixed in a little bit, then add the other one. After we put the color in, give it a good thorough mixing. Usually about 50 to 75 revs is what we do. So what we will do next, we pull that mixer up and we spread the concrete, get all the rods and wire up, and then we just start pouring our way right back out. Probably this way and then that way towards the steps. We might scratch out. We're going to start over at the steps and get those done first and bring it this way. Now we have step liners going in there, so we'll give those a spray with our liquid release so that the concrete does not stick to that. That's a must. So the pour went really well. Steps stayed attached, didn't push. That's always good. We used the pins in our wire tie method from our previous video if you want to check that out. The concrete, we just got done pouring. It's pretty wet yet. Truck's cleaning up. It's really cool out, no sun out today. So we have plenty of time just to relax, get stuff organized, and get set up to start finishing. Okay, maybe that'll help protect that edge a little bit, and then we'll uncover it and see how it looks. Okay. Hopefully the truck's a lot lighter now. Boy, did we get lucky. It sounded like it snapped, didn't it? We are good. So, did we do that or did it just break by shrinkage? So maybe that's all that fractured. Good deal. So we were just talking about our cut layout. I always like to see a cut center of the patio. It always wants to break center. So we put a cut dead center, and that'll be about 15 feet. It's roughly 30 feet from end to end. So 15, 7.5, then down this way. That gives us a nice size pad. It'll be like a 7 by 7, 7 by 8 pad. And then we'll do a little clip off of this bump out here. And when we get over here, we'll meet the reverse cut and we'll 45 that over. So we'll get all that on the ground here. How's the concrete? It's still really soft. So I'm happy we got lucky with that sidewalk. Barely hurt the yard at all. Everything's so hard here. And I'm surprised it just rained last night, so good. The concrete's still really wet, but we can start getting some of our easier cuts in. Whenever we have these long skinny slivers, it'll want to tend to crack, and then right at the last 4 to 6 inches it'll jump out of there because it's easier to crack that way than follow this. So we take a trowel and just real gently push it in there and get that cut as far into the concrete as we can to ensure that that crack is going to stay in that center groove. You know, do this when the concrete's nice and soft. You can feel that aggregate just moving away from each other. Now we have total separation there. Straight edge still in place. Lightly clean it up. Perfect. So we just have to fill in that little gap, working our steps down. We just have to fill that in to get it up to the proper height. Whenever you're doing the step liners, you run into that sometimes. Just got to catch it early, that's all. Okay, so they're all cleaned up. We take that bag and go around the edge. That way our wheel, there's about an inch gap that the wheel won't hit because of the broken stone face. So we just take care of that with a plastic bag. And it looks pretty good. If you really look for it, you can see the difference. But it's better than not having texture there. If you try and lay a floppy in there, the bag's easier. They're spraying and going out here. This is our heavy stone texture. The mat will give that a quick spray.
Okay, go ahead.
Concrete's still pretty soft, so it doesn't take much to get it in there. Nice. Notice Steve gave that a half a turn. That just changes the pattern up every time you put it down. You don't want to see that repeated pattern. I'll get one more of these and get on a roll.
A little bit tighter than I thought it was.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Boy, does that look nice. You do nice work, Hoss.
Thanks.
Just a little bit quicker.
Always be a little quicker.
Got it all rolled, border's done. Let me show you this face over here. So we put a broken stone liner on this high side. Now we only have to bring grade up, you know, to about that high. That'll work the yard real nice. And you see this decorative edge. That way it won't look bad with the concrete sticking up above grade. Little step down. Steps turned out real well. We did the heavy stone up there. Heavy stone border. Rolled slate main. So as this dries, we're going to run down the street and pour another patio. little bit smaller one. And then we'll come back up later today and we'll put our antiquing color on here, and hopefully we can get it sealed tomorrow if it doesn't rain. So we'll go down the street and hit another one. So here I am back. Patio's nice and dry. I'm gonna go ahead and get a coat of sealer on it. Okay, that's one coat of sealer. You can see how blotchy it is back there. It's really sucking it in quick. So we'll just let that dry for a little bit, let that chemical reaction take place. I'm going to go ahead and dress this edge up a little bit with the excavator, just cleaning this up, cleaning that up, and then I'll give it a final coat. Okay, one done, one to go. Just rough this in. We don't do final landscaping, but I think we get it pretty close for them. Then they can hire somebody, or they could probably handle that themselves. Just fluffing around the edges. Keep in mind, we poured this morning, so I don't want to get too close with that. It could still chip. So, there it is, all done. Let's run down the street and finish the other one.